A good late afternoon or perhaps early evening to you, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sage and you're watching 𝐊𝐿𝐴 TV live from Sydney, and this is the last show of the day, the last trade, and there's no better way to wind down the day than with today's market close commentary. So let's dive straight in. The Australian shares closed higher on Wednesday, snapping a two-session losing streak, driven by a strong rally in blue chip stocks, and the firm cues from Wall Street also helped the market reverse some of the week's losses. The equity market witnessed surges in buying despite the rise in the number of highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus cases. And the S&P ASX 200 ended 0.78% higher, led by real estate and materials stocks. Earlier today, the benchmark index opened higher, tracking strong cues from Wall Street, and rallied as much as 1.4%. On the COVID front, New South Wales recorded 110 new local COVID-19 cases, while Victoria registered 22 new cases in the past 24 hours. The rise in cases and extension of lockdowns in many cities is likely to have impact on economic recovery. Prime Minister Scott Morrison today said that jobs will be lost and the September GDP may fall due to current outbreaks. And among the individual stocks, lithium and tantalum producer and explorer Pilbara Minerals was the top performer on the ASX, rising 5.5%. The stock has rallied over 300% in the last 12 months, while it gained 70% since the beginning of this year. And on the flip side, software firm Altium was the top loser on the ASX, closing 0.48% lower. Let's take a look now at the sectoral indices and how they performed today. The market breadth indicating the overall strength of the market was strong, with 9 of the 11 sectoral indices ending in the green, and the A-rate sector was the best performer with 1.3% gains. Among others, materials, financial, consumer discretionary and healthcare stocks added over 1% gains. And meanwhile, the industrial sector emerged as the worst performer with a 0.6% gain. Among others, the IT stocks also ended lower with marginal losses. And in the banking sector, all of Australia's big four lenders, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Australia New Zealand Banking Group, Westpac Banking Corp and National Australia Bank, ended in the green zone. Moving on now to the energy space. Index heavyweights Santos, Oil Search, Origin Energy and Ampol Limited ended higher. The oil and gas major Woodside Petroleum and Beach Energy were among notable losers. And in the mining sector, index heavyweights BHP Group, Rio Tinto and Fortescue Metals Group ended higher, reversing previous session losses. And among the gold stocks, the sectoral major De Grey Mining, Ramelius Resources and Chalice Mining were among the top losers. And now, before we look at the ASX listed shares that are in the news today, it is time for a quick break. Please stay tuned.
New Zealand is unique, and 𝐊𝐿𝐴 TV is here to bring you all the latest news and trending market updates. Streaming across multiple platforms, so no matter where you are, whether it be at the beach or on the farm, you can count on the team here at 𝐊𝐴 TV to be your home for accessing the latest valuable insights into global issues that are affecting New Zealanders. Subscribe to our channels across YouTube, Facebook, also visit 𝐊𝐴.co.nz.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Sage and you're watching 𝐊𝐴 TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. Let us shift our focus to the stocks that are creating a buzz today. As many as 3 companies, Open Negotiation, GFEN International and BCal Diagnostics, commenced trading on the ASX today for the first time, and in line with the benchmark index, Australian property technology firm Open Negotiation made a strong debut on the ASX. The stock gained as much as 62.5% to reach 32.5 cents Australian in the opening trade against an offer price of 20 cents. The company, which operates a property technology business through its subsidiary, has successfully raised 9 million Australian dollars by issuing 45 million shares at an offer price of 20 cents apiece. On the other hand, Israel-headquartered technology firm GFEN International made a weak debut on the ASX in an otherwise strong broader market. The stock price slumped as much as 18% to 82 cents against an offer price of $1 The tech firm's shares got listed on the ASX following the completion of an oversubscribed $25 million IPO. Next, breast cancer detection company 𝐕𝐝 Diagnostics also commenced trading on a muted note. Similar to the GFEN International, 𝐕𝐝 Diagnostics fell as much as 6% in the early deals to hit a low of 23.5 cents against an issue price of 25 cents. The diagnostic company made its debut on the ASX after successfully raising $10 million by issuing 40 million new shares at 25 cents per share. The offer valued the company at $51.7 million. Let's now take a look at the next company. Shares of Whisper jumped as much as 8.3% to $2.86 on robust June quarter earnings. The communications workflow provider said its annualised recurring revenue rose 28.5% in the fourth quarter ended 30th June 2021. The firm stated it is well funded to accelerate growth strategy with strong cash and equivalence balance. And moving on now to the next share. Shares of buy now pay later firm Afterpay extended gains for the third session. The stock climbed as much as 3.4% to a one-week high of $109. The company on Tuesday said it would launch a banking app in October, its first major offering outside of BNPL services. And now we'll take a look at the next company making the big news today. Construction and property firm Lendlease Group gained as much as 2.4%, reaching $11.70 on a deal with ServiceStream. The company entered agreements with network services provider ServiceStream Limited to sell its services business for $310 million. Taking a look at the next company, shares of online retailer Kogan climbed as much as 5.3% to $12.35 following business update, and the company said its financial year 2021 adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortisation is up 23% compared to last year. The company has posted a financial year 2021 total gross sales up 52.5% from the financial year 2020. And moving on now to the next ASX listed share. Shares of software maker Altium fell as much as 5.2% to hit a 6-week low of $32.75 on Wednesday, and the shares have been facing selling pressure for the 3 days. The US engineering software giant Autodesk walked away from its bid for Altium, and Autodesk on Wednesday confirmed it had ended discussions with Altium after a $40 per share verbal bid made on Monday was rejected. And now, before we look at some more ASX listed shares that are in the news today, it's time for a quick break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. Sage here. You're watching 𝐊𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV live from the Sydney studio. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. Shares of private health insurance companies next on our radar. NIB Holdings hit a fresh 52-week high price on Wednesday, and the stock gained as much as 4% to hit a record high of $7.06. The company on Tuesday announced that Steve Crane, its non-executive director and chairman, would resign from the board on 29th July. His position would be taken up by David Gordon, who is the existing independent non-executive director. The company also appointed Peter Harmer as an independent non-executive director of the board. Let us now take a look at the next company making the news today. Shares of the world's biggest miner, BHP, gained as much as 2.3% to reach $50.39 amid reports that it might sell its oil and gas business. The petroleum business is estimated to be worth $15 billion or more, as per a Bloomberg report. And the exit from the oil and gas business will help iron ore miner to focus on commodities. Let's take a look at the next. 𝐊𝐚𝐥 Group gained as much as 5.84% after this multinational contractor released half-yearly earnings report, and the group revenue rose 10.6% for the 6 months ended 30th June 2021. The company has also maintained its 2021 financial year profit guidance following robust earnings in the first half of the year. And now let's take a look at the ASX listed company in our list today. Oil and gas major Beach Energy dropped 2.8% to $1.21 Australian after the company released its fourth quarter earnings report, and the energy firm posted a 7% growth in sales revenue as compared to the prior quarter. The rise in revenue was attributed to the increase in realised oil price, which surged 10%. And for the full financial year 2021, the revenue dropped by 8% as compared to the previous fiscal. Let's now take a look at the Asian markets performance. Most of the equity markets in the Asia-Pacific region rebounded on Wednesday following strong cues from Wall Street, and in Japan the benchmark Nikkei 225 was up 0.6%, pairing more than half of the opening gains, and the index surged 1.68% in the first 1 hour of trade on better than expected trade data. The country's exports surged 48.6% in June 2021 compared with the year ago period, and according to the data released on Wednesday by Japan's Ministry of Finance. In a similar trend, China's Shanghai Composite rose 0.65%, while Indonesia's Jakarta Stock Exchange gained 0.35%. Bucking the trend, Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell 0.6%, while South Korea's Kospi also dropped 0.35%. Thanks for joining us on that report. Hopefully that was informative for you, and that's all for now on The Last Trade. With our existing operations in Australia, New Zealand, UK and Canada, 𝐊𝐴 Media has launched its operations in the US markets, and every day in our first show, the Global Market Updates, you can get the latest and important news of the US and the UK, as well as the Asia-Pacific market. So on that note, I shall see you as close as possible at 10:30 a.m. live from Sydney.